lawyers in football. Baseball's got a few. The pitcher got $1 million and the quarterback, he got $2. Pitcher threw his arm away and the quarterback burned his knees. And this they did so they could live the American dream. Now there are some preachers on TV with a suit and a tie and a vest. They want you to send your money to the Lord, but they give you their address. 'Cause all of your donations are completely tax-free. God bless you all, but most of all, send your money. Do you really want it? Do you really need it? You gotta keep on grinding just to try to keep it. You got no time for yourself, you got more for old Jim Beam. You're going crazy dreaming the American dream. Reagan is a-cutting the budget, making the Democrats scream. Says we gotta control inflation, quit spending our money on everything. But this year's tax increase, why, it's the biggest in history. Round and around we go, where we stop, who knows, the American dream. Do we really want it? Do you really need it? We gotta keep on grinding just to try to keep it. We got no time for ourselves and more for old Jim Beam. We're going crazy dreaming the American dream. We're going crazy dreaming the American dream. Hail to the chief. Hail, yes.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Did he say hail to the chief or hail to the chief? It's hard when you get that southern accent. So it sounded like he said hail, but he did say hail to the chief, which would be President Donald J. Trump. And today is a massive special because this is the not State of the Union address. We'll go into why it is not the State of the Union address, but his speech will be starting here very, very quickly. So this is Scribid Gov. My name is Louis Herms, and do us a favor and like, share, follow, all that good stuff. Let everybody know this is going to be an exciting, exciting special. And two of my best buddies in the world are joining me today. Who could that possibly be? Anybody want to guess? Today it's three dudes chilling. This is the Bruce Puppy and Robert the extravagant Imbriali.
A little red showing up on the screen. A little red here. I don't know, but I'm green on that side. I don't know what's going on.
And I'm beautiful as hell. This isn't done on purpose. So, guys, this is my platform. That's why I look great and they look like shit. This is not an accident, right? This is my ego. No, I don't know what the hell's going on. I do know, though, that we have 20 minutes and 11 seconds, 10, 9, 8, until President Trump is scheduled to speak in front of Congress. What do you guys think?
Did you see the posts by Elon Musk?
This is why I have them on here, because they're just speechless, right? This is working out perfect. So while you guys are trying to figure out what to say, let's just do this. Hi, this is Louis Herms again with Verity Metals, veritymetals.com. Guys, Matt Geiger is a wonderful person. He has an amazing, amazing platform where he can sell you silver and gold. He generally will offer silver coinage, gold coinage, because it's actually real currency. Go ahead and text Matt 480-717-9081. He's got some of the best rates in the business, not to mention he knows Patriot stuff. Have a good conversation with Matt in regards to Patriot stuff, and you can text him directly at 480-717-9081, and he'll call you back, and he will absolutely show his receipts, which is a genuinely hard thing to find in this industry. So let's find out if the cat has released the tongues of Bruce Poppy and Robert Imbriali. Hey,
I
gentlemen,
wonder
nice
if
to
you're
have you
hearing
back.
me or not hearing me. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Okay, good. Because I talked before, but
You said something
so I
about
was just
being Native
mentioning that
American
post.
earlier.
Yeah, well, that post by Elon Musk was interesting. The FAFO post this afternoon.
I didn't see it. I've been too busy
Yeah,
writing a
that's
big
all it was. It was
disclosure.
just that, and everyone's going, "What is it? What is he? What is he referring to?"
Oh,
I have a
it,
feeling it's referring to this speech tonight.
oh, well, that would be good, right?
Yeah,
Supposedly, Pam Bondi has all the Epstein files with her now from SDNY. That was all a bullshit thing, anyways. We know they've always had these Epstein files, so clearly there's games being played. Da 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 da. I know Bruce and I are done with the games. Like, just stop playing the games, right? It's. By the way, I'm one. This is weird. I'm one that doesn't think they should release any of the files unless they come with an indictment and arrest, because I think that's stupid. I'm just telling you, you don't put out a bunch of names out there and give them a chance to run away, cover their tracks, or hide in places like Turkey or Greece. You don't do that, right?
yeah.
Doesn't make sense. So I know everybody's screaming at the top of their lungs, "Give me the Epstein files." Well, okay, if you get the Epstein files, everybody else has them, and then what happens, right? So I would prefer the Epstein files to come with indictments at the same time. That being said, I've been the loudest voice out there, and the reason why I know this is because even my own audience are hating on me right now. I've been the loudest voice out there saying, "What? Don't don't tell us you're going to give us the Epstein files and not do it." Week one. Don't tell us you're going to give us the RFK, MLK Jr., JFK, 9/11 files, so on and so forth. If you're not going to do it, right? I'd be fine if they would have said, "Hey, we are going to investigate this to the highest matter. We're going to hold those accountable, and when we do, then we'll start releasing the names." I would have been great with that. But don't tell me you're going to do it, or don't tell the American people to do it, and then withhold. That to me is an issue. What's your take, Bruce?
Well, I mean, absolutely. They're. I posted the same thing. I don't care about lists. I don't care about this or that and the other. We need some arrests, and they're talking about hey, redacting for national security purposes. Their typical sources and methods bullshit, and then also for grand jury information, they're going to be redacting. Now, is that the question that becomes? Is that previous grand juries that were
Mm, good
Judge
question.
Lane and Jeffrey, or ongoing or current grand juries for other people? Because I know my own name, that there's other people involved. The 254 victims that Bondi talks about weren't just taken advantage of by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. There's a shit ton of other people involved. We know it was likely a honeypot CIA type Mossad operation. So there's tons of video. So that releasing the list, and then also a point to remember too is on Trump's executive order, the declassification executive order does not mention the Epstein files. It only mentions JFK, RFK, and MLK. It doesn't mention anything else about the Epstein stuff.
Interesting.
So, look back and, kind of remember, we get this memory hole thing and we get all, laser focused or tunnel vision on a certain particular subject, and we, lose the forest for the trees. So yeah, that's keep in mind that as well. Like I said, we need arrests. I mean, this is you can play the game. That's the thing. The theme of tonight's speech is rebuilding the American dream,
Mm.
right? And
I thought it was
so
Build Back Better.
yeah, we're becoming unburdened by what has been.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But even Trump's True Social, tomorrow night's going to be big or huge. I'm going to tell it like it is. What is he going to tell? That's the thing. How far is he willing to go? And is it just going to be a bunch of stuff, narcissistic, type of thing? Look at me, look at me, look at all I've done in my first 45 days or less or whatever it is. And or is he going to start off? Yeah, the United States corporation is dead and defunct, and we're moving. Is he going to go down that road?
Wow, that'd be
Who knows?
amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I have very, very low expectations. Just because from past experience, you get all jacked up and jazzed up. Hey, this is it. How many times before did we see a State of the Union address, a joint session of Congress, and the reason to get all in one place, lock the doors, they're going to arrest all these sons of bitches. and nothing ever happened. So there's even been rumors that that whack job uh, lady Crockett from Texas says she's going to throw stuff. And so if she starts throwing things, then everybody on X is, yeah, they better be arrested. There better be sergeant
Damn
arms.
right.
We can't.
Damn right. They better arrest her if she does that.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean,
Well,
we'll end up seeing there's already a handful of people that said they're not going to go. Democrats, this and that and the other, whatever. It's a bunch of pantomime, or not pantomime, but kabuki theater. We'll end up seeing what ends up happening. Like I said, it's. I mean, we got the world's ear tonight. Everybody's going to be listening, and then there's also supposed to be a announcement of Vladimir Zelensky coming to his senses. Kind of coming back with his tail between his legs and said, "Yeah, maybe we should sign that deal."
they all do that too. Look at
Oh, I
the
know.
president of Mexico.
Oh yeah, they capitulate super fast. I mean, the one that's still holding the hard line is Governor Trudeau over there.
Not after
He's
today.
he's yeah.
Oh, wow.
We'll see.
That was the most beautiful post I've ever seen, by the way, today, when President Trump said somebody should remind or Trudeau that if you go ahead and put a tariff on us, we were just going to increase our tariffs by the like amount. It was so easy and so simple. Robert, what you say?
Yeah, well, he's playing hardball for sure. On the Epstein files, we have to be a little judicious on jumping to conclusions, because just because somebody rode on an airplane doesn't mean they did anything nefarious. So the list alone doesn't do much for me. It's like, okay, we've had a lot of it. Even if we get the rest of it, doesn't matter, at some point. And why would Pam Bondi, beginner's error, is that what happened? Rookie mistake. Think that 200 pages was everything? I mean, that's the way she positioned it.
She couldn't have. By the way,
No.
it's likely, because remember where she was in Florida when this all went down. It's likely that she saw all of this before President Trump did.
Yeah, I was just going to suggest, wasn't she AG during the first Epstein trial down near Mar-a-Lago?
I believe
When he
so.
got let off?
So at minimum, this was a messaging nightmare, is what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to call in these conservative influencers and just hand them a binder and say, here you go, which is stuff that's already been on the internet, pretty much forever. The only thing I haven't seen that I saw was in that binder was there was a list of evidence, multiple pages of evidence, and there's videos, audios, different records, so they can't release all that stuff, like I said, because there better be some ongoing prosecutions for some of these SOBs, that need to be strung up by their nuts for what they did.
Hey, guys, I'm going to do a live test really quick. I just want to see something, right? So everybody can see it here. This will be the screen that's working. And folks, we have something special today. We actually have a poll. So let's try something. In the comments, put what grade would you give President Trump's team overall performance so far? So if you're absolutely loving everything he's doing, including the way he's handled Epstein, the way RFK Jr. has handled the vaccines, including Doge, whatever, right? You give him a grade A for you think it's amazing, F if you think it's horrible, or currently I'm at a C. That's not a slap at the Trump administration, but I have to combine everything together, right? So for me, he's an A+ with Doge, right? But the handling of the Epstein files and the fact that RFK Jr. seems to be ignoring some vaccines that are being pushed through the USDA, and he's supporting, it seems, as the MMR-V. At minimal, he's just not very clear on that. So you guys go ahead and put your pound in there. Yes, it is working. And this is how we're going to be able to tell. So we'll do this throughout the evening. This is what grade would you give President Trump's team's overall performance so far? Awesome.
Yeah,
All
just
right.
let everyone know in the chat room, you need to put the pound sign before the letter grade that you're going to give it. So pound A, pound B, pound C, and then it will count it. Otherwise, it doesn't count. As you can see on the screen, it's not counting them all. There are a lot of people putting there you go.
Yep. Thanks, Robert.
He's
Robert always
got it.
catches
Yep.
that stuff. That's why he gets paid the big bucks. So,
So to continue on to your conversation about RFK and everything, we talked a lot about that on yesterday's show. We went into the details there. Very stunning, very puzzling in a lot of ways. Some of the things that have happened over the last week, but we also know the low hanging fruit was the first avalanche. The first 30 days. We avalanched them, and I think the other side is taking their time now, but they're starting to regroup, and we're going to have some challenges to face as we go forward. It's going to get a little harder before we can claim victory on the other side.
well, yeah, and it is a war. Last time I checked, would you agree?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Beautiful.
we're battle hardened now, Lewis. I'm telling you.
Yep. Hey guys, I'm working on some logistics really quick. If you guys could banter back and forth right now, that would be amazing.
Right. So the war thing. Yeah. I mean, it's so you can be in ready to go on the front lines, or you could be in the fog of war too, because there's many people I believe that are kind of worn out a little bit. I mean, yeah, it's only been just over a month that Trump has been back in power allegedly. And so what is the expectations? That's the thing, right? You got to temper your criticism and the different things by what were you expecting, to roll in day one and go and just go scorched earth on everything.
You're right.
There
That's
still
exactly
has
what
to
they were expecting. Bruce, that was
yeah,
100% what people were expecting, right? After 4 years of the other guy, whose name we shall not mention, we were all expecting that. And all of a sudden, it's like Trump gets in, and all of a sudden, it's celebration time, but it really isn't, because it really is like your wedding night, right? You think, that's everything. I made it to this point. That's really where the work begins, right? It doesn't end there. It
right.
begins there, right? And I think we're
The-
looking at
the-
this the same way. It's like we've got to know that there's a lot of work ahead of us. We've got a lot of things to correct. Some of
oh
it
yeah,
may be
absolutely.
generational, may not get corrected right away.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah,
the biggest thing that's happened over the past month ish is twofold. Number one, the border has been, A plus on the border. I mean, that's down to,
Yeah,
negligible amounts of people coming across.
that's crazy
And
that
then,
the amounts are so huge.
the second thing is the exposure or the disclosure of the Doge, information. Now, there's still some work to be done to be able to rein some of that in, because Doge doesn't have the power or the authority, to stop and cut off and redirect any spending. All they are do is whistleblowers at this particular juncture, and then it's up to the House of Representatives, to be able to tighten up those purse strings. And there's still tons of fights, within the judicial system about what can Trump do, who can he fire, and who can he not fire. I mean, these judges are really, really a thorn in the side, and maybe that's by design. We knew that expected this to happen. I mean, I remember, I'm 57 years old, and I remember way back in the day, judges were supposed to be nonpartisan. There was never any, it was just a judge in his name. Nowadays, every single judge, when they talk about that judge, it's a Clinton appointed judge, it's a Obama or it's a Bush appointed judge. So then you're supposed to believe that judge is of the same ideology as the person who appointed that, which isn't necessarily the case.
Hey, folks, real quick in the chat, it's in the chat, not the comments. If you want to vote where from an A to an F, where you think the Trump administration has performed so far, right? You have to put a pound first, and it's in the chat. And then you put A, B, C, D, E. I'm not E or F. And I'm putting a C only because the way he's handled the promises, the Epstein files, the MLK, RFK, 9/11 stuff. We haven't seen it yet. I don't think that should have been promised. And I'm not happy about the way RFK is handling the vaccine stuff currently. So I'm a
So
C. But Bruce, where are
Haggis
you? And
Master,
then Robert, where are you? We've got 4 minutes.
I put a B. I put a B. But Haggis Master put the pound sign, like the pound dollar sign for a pound for the British pound, and then B. I don't think maybe she's got a different keyboard over there in Scotland. It's the not just the pound, it's the ampersand is the proper terminology. But yeah, that was kind of funny. I saw the pound and a B from Haggis Master in the chat.
It's not the ampersand. It's actually the
No.
pound symbol or the crosshatch, right?
Hashtag.
Hashtag,
Ampersand
yeah.
is the at symbol,
Right,
right?
right.
At
So
the at
it's the
symbol,
hash
right.
it's the hashtag.
Hey,
Yeah,
I saw an
hashtag.
interesting bumper sticker today on a Tesla.
Uh-oh, I'm
Bumper
listening.
sticker said, "Love the guy, hate the car." I mean, love the car, hate the guy.
Oh, it says love the car, hate the guy. That's a
Yeah.
liberal sticker for sure, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it's California, Tesla's
Well,
everywhere around here.
I mean, that's the funny thing is, the leftists are supposed to be the green, planet huggers, Green New Deal, oil companies
The
are the
most
most evil
inclusive. We
thing.
love everybody.
And now they're burning, attacking Tesla dealerships, and all these stars are selling their cars, selling their Teslas, and donating the money to NPR and other leftist types of things. So it's
Yep.
funny that they're just completely unhinged. That's just it's mental illness.
It's
I,
just
I,
There was
mental.
I,
Trump
I have to
derangement
laugh
syndrome.
when I
There
see
was
those kind of
Elon
things.
derangement syndrome.
Yeah, I have to laugh when I see those kind of things. I can't take it personally. You got to laugh at it, and you go, man, these people are really just off their rocker. Elon is not necessarily involved just because he started the company. He's not necessarily involved in running the day-to-day operations. So, in the same like SpaceX, do you think he's running the operations there?
Well, I hear
Probably
he,
not, right?
yeah, I hear he's the one that puts the fuel in the rockets himself.
I thought he was the guy that lit the fuse.
Oh, I think you're right. And he clearly he's going to run away in a Tesla when he does that.
Yeah,
You got to use one of those lighters, the really long ones, because if you use the short ones, you can get burnt. So,
you can get burned a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Jeez.
but he was on Rogan, and I seen some clips of his show on Rogan, and he was struggling. He didn't want to bring forward a lot of the corruption stuff that he's aware of for fear of his life. Because
Yeah,
these people, they don't play, man. I mean, that's one of the things that's kind of puzzled me. When you pull back and look at things, if the globalists, the CIA, the deep state, Mossad, whoever you want to be, the dark deep people that are really running things, and they're the puppet masters. If they wanted you be unalived and remove you from this realm, you would be.
Yeah.
well, okay, so time to make it all about me. Tomorrow, I'm going to release an epic exposure that people haven't heard that will blow people away. I mean, and I'm literally the beginning of it. It says, "My name is Louis Herms, and I must state up front that I am very healthy and just absolutely love my life." That's the beginning of this. I'm up. Why is it echoing? Is it echoing on your side?
No.
That's good. Here, let me share. Tell me if it's echoing now.
Executive orders and many hundreds of executive actions. The president and his team have made significant moves to reshape the federal government, the U.S. role abroad, economic policy, and immigration.
It is echoing.
He's expected to highlight all those topics in tonight's speech. The Democrats will.
Was it echoing for you guys?
I hear a very
a little
faint
bit.
something in the background.
Okay. I think I know why. I just have to find it.
You probably have your speakers on, Lewis, and it's coming through your microphone as well as sharing on the screen.
Never done that before, ever.
Okay.
It's never been an issue. I'm wondering. I think I figured it out. Oh,
There
yep,
it is.
got it.
Stop it.
Yep, got it figured out. All right, I'm going to keep, guys. Just so you know, they're just bantering back and forth, and then as soon as they or the man, the myth, the legend comes on, I will go ahead and show screen, and we're going to listen to this live with President Trump. Go ahead, guys.
Are we going to be doing any like live commentary? Or are we just going to hold our comments till the end? Should I make notes?
If it's something like so quick, super quick, I think we could go ahead and throw it out there, right? But if it's a commentary, I definitely don't want to interrupt
Yeah,
the
right.
speech.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah, if something quick like look at McConnell's got his finger in his nose, and then stuff like.
Or bullshit. Call it bullshit.
Yeah. Now let me take that.
We got to stand up and do the clap, a standing ovation every time they do that, because it's going to be like going to an Episcopal church.
Right.
All night long. Yep.
Hey, Lisa, is there a way that you can come in and take the timer off since it's already at 0? I think she's watching. Okay, guys, I'm still working on something here. Oh, by the way, can Robert explain this to everybody? I think it's pretty cool. Let me see. Boom.
Hey, how come we're not getting more?
Yeah, there
we
it
go.
popped in.
It just updated. So bees are winning right now.
So there's no E's. She put an E on there just like I said.
Well, E for effort, right?
I think there's one
She
E.
added it, right?
There's one E for effort there. Maybe when she comes on that we could delete that too. She says just click it and delete it. Let me go back and let's see here to the timer. Here comes President Trump. Here we go. Oh, I definitely don't want to hear this dude talking. So I'll show you this and
Deidre. So it's a quick
You got
programming note.
the audio muted, right?
Yeah, I have it muted on purpose because I don't need to hear
good.
that dude talking.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to be sure.
NPR. I banned
programming note.
NPR from my White House.
I will be in Cape Canaveral this weekend.
Yes, tell everybody. This is awesome.
Yeah, I'll be at the Quantum Summit 1776, the Mel Carmine event, representing Verity Metals and Screw Big Gov and Unpopular Viewpoint, the whole family there. So I will be there Saturday and Sunday, mainly representing Matt Geiger and Verity Metals. So we got, with all the situation going on and Lewis having, something else and Matt something else. So they went deep into the bench, pull out the third string to send me in since I live the closest. But it's going to be a great event. I mean, there's tons of speaker. Carol Maureen Friesen, our lovely friend from Costa Rica, is supposed to be there. Michael Jaco, Mark Z. I mean, all kinds of other great people are going to be there and speaking. So if you can, there's still tickets to watch it online. I think they're like $37 or something, or $34. It's $17 a day to watch the live stream. You can go there, quantumsummit1776.com to find that out.
I was at the last one last year. Mel Carmine uninvited me this year. No, actually, I had something else that came together on a lot of things that I'm working on. So I'm going to have to go to Vegas, but which will be great too. So Mel did a phenomenal job. I'm going to, for his first one ever last year. So I'm sure this will be even better. So if you guys can make it, I think you'll appreciate the work that Mel put into this.
And it's already going to be better because I'm going to be there.
Well,
there you go.
That's
And
did I have to?
And I am slated to potentially do some backup MC work, which is pretty good. So, and we'll see how it goes because I'm having some pretty significant oral surgery tomorrow, getting a new grill. So we'll see how that's all going to work out if I'll be able to talk this weekend.
And then, hey, speaking of talking, why don't you guys talk about this New Year's Day event that we're putting together, which I think will be record-breaking.
It's going to be amazing. The big New Year's Eve party, the SBG family and others. Is it on the 31st to the 1st or on the 1st?
It's New Year's Day. It'll be on April 1st.
Okay. So on April 1st, the actual real New Year's Day, all-day event, 12-hour event, a big party. We're having, some speakers coming on. We're going to have party music. I'll be playing a party song once an hour. It's going to be live streamed and simulcasted on many, 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 many other channels. So Lewis has been working super hard in the background to make this all happen. We're all going to, Robert, myself, Lewis, be co-hosting the deal. And, lots of great people who are going to bring valuable content. We're just not going to let anybody and their brother come on here. This is a super special event that we're working super hard on to reach millions of people. That's our goal. Every hour, also, I believe we're going to be sharing a video explaining why that April 1st is the real New Year, and so that it's going to be amazing. What do you think, Robert?
I think we should have started on March 31st and gone through midnight and streamed all night,
Yeah.
and then had the balloon drop at midnight. I'm just thinking outside the
Yeah.
box. I don't know.
Yeah. You go to sleep. Go to sleep.
There's not enough coffee around for me to be able to do that.
And
It's going to be a lot of fun.
okay, Robert, I'm totally willing to change it. It's not a bad idea. We actually talked about this before. If, and it's a big if we end it at midnight Eastern time.
This is 9 p.m. our time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then I think that just means we have one less day of promotion. But I'm for that, because I was bantering around the idea in my head, and I'm like, I do not want to be up until midnight, because the people in back east, it'll be 3:00 and they're not even going to enjoy it, right?
Right. Well, most of the audience is in an Eastern time zone because it's most of the country.
Yeah, but guys, we have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of prizes for free. You guys don't have to buy anything in order to be eligible for a prize. That's it. You just have to put your some information in somewhere. We haven't even developed that portal yet. So that's what's awesome. And there's RFK Jr. on your screen, by the way.
There's
And
Nicole Shanahan there too. Good. I saw Pam Bondi.
and then in addition to that, the on our New Year's Eve party, I like that better, Robert. I like the sounds of it too. On the New Year's Eve party, Bruce, as he mentioned, probably every hour we're going to play a song. And I want to figure out, Robert, this is where you come in, and I'll just say it live, is to have two Zoom things where our audience can come in on a Zoom during the song, and you can see them dancing and having a good time. We can show a whole bunch of them at one time too. So that's another idea. Guys, it's going to be a party.
A pate. They haven't taken their seats yet, so the press is not here.
I'm sorry. I'm just wanting to mention they have their token Muslim on the screen, so they have to do that. It's amazing. You know what? I don't give a damn if you're Muslim or not. But they're so obviously woke in the types of things that the news media does. It's just pandering. I would be if I was Muslim and they're pandering to me, I wouldn't want the check. I would say, no, stop pandering to me. You know what my wife does? Yeah. If people start talking to her like immediately like bad about President Trump just because she's Hispanic, she's like, "Are you racist?" And they go, "Whoa."
I love it.
They say, "Well, what do you mean? What do you mean?" And she goes, "Are you racist?" She goes, "Why would you say that?" "Well, you just assume because I'm Hispanic that I'm going to be a Trump hater? Is that the way it works?" "Oh, no." And they freak out and do all their little thing. But yeah, it's what the woke is racist. People don't understand that. The premise of assuming that somebody is incapable or less than based on the color means you're inherently racist. By the way, the first time I got deleted on many channels, it's when I proved point by point how the Democrats were racist. So that was a hot topic on Twitter at the time.
It's not even about that. I mean, that's just a fallacy. If you were to take the real numbers, a overwhelming majority of Hispanic people are conservative and pro-Trump.
True.
So the fact that just because he's against illegal immigration, that all Hispanic people should hate Trump, that's just a
Look
fallacy.
how tiny Mike Johnson is. That's the smallest Johnson I've seen all week.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's about as risque as Robert gets. Holy cow.
I don't even know if it was on purpose.
It was on purpose. Trust me.
Look how red he's turning.
I've already been red. I'm trying to get the green in here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Oh my Lord. Dun, dun. Oh.
Where are the sound effects, Bruce?
I think we're done. We're not even going to watch Trump's speech now after that, Robert.
We got it.
We're
a bad influence on him. He would have never said that.
Master Baggy. Listen to what Master Baggy says. I'm going to put on screen. Roberts for the win.
That's epic.
Oh my God. That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful.
And is that the real JD Vance though? I mean, because he looks a lot taller than the 5'8", 5'10" guy. Or the 6-footer. He looks
Yeah.
bigger. I don't know.
Maybe they're putting the Lisa put a rocket on the screen. We know what that's referencing. Lisa. Wow. Well, the chat was doing nothing. You start talking about peckers and it lights up.
It lights up. We got to match our audience, right? We got to
Yes.
match the message to the audience.
Their minds are in the gutter. Good grief.
Oh Lordy.
No, look at what's on screen. We see the gutter. I mean, this is the
literally
epitome of the
looking at the
gutter.
swamp, right? Good point.
Man, Robert's betting 1,000 tonight. Good
Robert's
grief.
on fire. Here. in fact,
Absolutely.
yeah. Robert's so on fire, I'm just going to do this.
He's gone.
Lewis has left the building.
I left the building. Oh my gosh. That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Hey, whose grandmother was that?
I think that was Barbara Bush.
Barbara Bush.
Mr. Bush.
Here we go. Here's the clapping.
Okay, here goes the president. Can they take this peckerhead off a screen here? We have to have this dude on the screen the whole time? No.
Hey, this is the biggest audience they've ever had. Come on.
Oh, that's so true. How did they score this? So Trump says we don't want to talk to you guys anymore. Yet here you go. We're going to give you the biggest audience ever.
Yeah, exactly. How did that happen?
So I'm assuming when President Trump makes his way on stage, this guy will go bye-bye, and then I will unmute the microphone. Hey, guys, real quick, I'm going to unmute it for a second. Give me a 5-5 if you can hear the clapping or whatever.
Worried. Even the Senate Majority Leader, John Thune, who's...
So I haven't seen Pelosi. I haven't seen Schumer.
They're usually down towards the front, but you could notice that. I mean, everybody on the right side of the aisle, the GOP side of the aisle, are all happy, and everybody else is sitting there like they're at a freaking funeral on the other side.
Somebody just did throw
MTG
something
with the
at
cap
President
on?
Trump. Did you see that?
I missed it.
Yeah, I think it either hit his left shoulder or fell down in front of him. Don't know what it was. Hopefully it was like more for fun, not for bad. Now, isn't it interesting? Do you remember a few when Trump's SCOTUS in? Ooh, look at him
Nancy Mace.
pull that hand down. So no, you're not going to put your hand around my neck. He knows.
Look
he
at
knows
Schiff. He's got his back turned.
So, do you remember when President Trump spoke and all the lady Democrats were wearing white?
Yep.
Notice how many conservatives are wearing white today. Why is that? And those are conservatives, guys. Like Denise right now is saying they're Wiccans. Those are all conservatives that were wearing white and greeting him. Very curious about that. Have we just are we showing the witchcraft on the Republican side?
Look at that face.
Schumer is gorgeous.
Oh my gosh.
He's just a model. Just so beautiful that guy is.
Doing everything he can not to look at Trump.
Right. Did he not on purpose? There's Rubio. Hey, I'll be the first to say Rubio's been doing a fantastic job so far. And
surprisingly.
I'm not a fan. So good on that. So again, remember what we said on here many times. There are certain people that are compromised on the good side, and they're in lockstep with what they're supposed to do too. Not saying it's Rubio, just saying it's something that we know.
I can't tell who that judge is. Is that Supreme Court justice?
Yeah, it was like most judges. That's Judge Old as Dirt. That's his name.
Old as dirt. The official White House photographer.
Yeah, was that Jean Ho? No, I didn't say Jean Ho because she's black. By the way, that was wrong. That wasn't the intent. Okay, but everybody remembers Trump's official photographer was Gene Ho in the past.
Right.
And he's the current editor of George Magazine, right? Or he has some role with that there.
Yes, yes, he is. Okay, here he comes. Let's see if they're gonna shut
Get
that,
that guy off the
get that dude off
screen,
the screen.
please.
Come on.
Is that guy's neck extraordinarily long, or is it just me?
Yeah, I think he bought his neck from Adam Schiff or us. Okay, here we go.
He's got a thick black binder there.
Everybody hear it all right?
So far.
Damn,
And it
we're
really
good.
is striking that one half of the room is on its feet applauding. The other half is absolutely seated with their hands in their laps. Trump is giving a fist
I
bump
hope we don't
in
get
the
this
air,
guy's commentary
unbuttoning his
throughout the whole
jacket,
thing.
looking
Oh
out at the
no,
scene
I'll have to reach to
before
the
he
screen
steps
and
up to begin
smack
his
him.
remarks.
Okay, class, we got to take notes.
If you're
Right.
just joining us, I'm Ari Shapiro, and this is live special coverage from NPR
Notebook
News.
out.
Thanks, Ari. Shapiro and a Muslim. What are the odds? I'm going to mute myself for a minute. You're welcome. Okay, let's
You
go.
can see him thanking his supporters, kind of soaking in the adulation before he begins this address.
Nothing.
I should mention that while the Republicans are standing and applauding, and the Democrats are seated with their hands in their laps, the Supreme Court justices are standing but not applauding.
Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First Lady of the United States.
Well-deserved applause, by the way.
Yep.
He is
Like that
classy as
outfit.
hell.
Yep. She's not wearing a tablecloth.
Robert's on fire. We're going to edit Robert out of here.
Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
Well, that's a great shot. That will push Democrats not saying a word.
Six weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
Good.
Thank you. I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it. The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes.
I will say, too many men in
We
that
won the
audience.
popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
So it appears there was some disruption from the left, and the right is screaming USA to overwhelm them.
And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525, on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican. Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever.
You know, there's never disruption of a Democrat president in this chamber.
Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded.
Mr. President.
A 41-point jump.
Who's the guy with the cane
Members are
standing there yelling
directed
at him?
to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
President's speech. Some members of Congress have interrupted the president's speech, and
Members are
Republican members
engaging
have
in
that
shouted
guy.
them
continuing
down.
breach of decorum,
Kick
and
him
the
out.
chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
Looks like Democratic Congressman Al Green was disrupting, shouting, "You don't have a mandate." And then House Speaker Mike Johnson was trying to restore order to the room. President Trump has paused his remarks.
So I shut this guy off for a second. So just so you know, this is a complete setup. The reason why the guy in the cane is making all the noise is because they will try to use it against when they remove him. Like, oh, they got rid of a handicapped guy. That's the reason why they're using him.
Disruption
Yep.
of proper
A handicapped
decorum. The
black
chair
guy.
now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
There's
This
one
is something
arrest.
I don't believe we
Yay.
have seen in a joint address to Congress
Completely
before. The
planned.
Sergeant at Arms
Oh, yeah.
removing a member of Congress who
If
interrupted
it
the
happens
speech.
again, it'll be like an
Congressman Al
elderly
Green
lady or
waving
something.
his
This is,
cane
they're
as he now
doing this on
moves
purpose.
towards the aisle and prepares to leave the room. Speeches like this have been interrupted before, but I don't recall such an extensive disruption
Crazy.
and a member being asked to leave. Deirdre Walsh is there watching this unfold. Deirdre, can you just describe what's happening as we wait for the president to resume?
We can
Texas
see what's
Democrat
happening.
Al
We don't
Green
need to
is
hear you,
being
Deidre.
Yeah, let me
They're
hear
your whole-
let me hear Bruce and Robert tell us what's happening.
Good grief. Well, yeah,
Crazy.
this guy Green he's from Texas. He's
I think Trump's
crazy as
speaking
the,
again. Hold on a sec. Sorry.
I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it. In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many. And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
Hey, Baggy, stop posting it. Nobody knows what it is. It just looks like a broken
They
link.
heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my fifth such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
Now, people are asking why this is not the official State of the Union speech. It's because President Trump did not declare it so, and it's just an address to the nation. And I believe that's administration choice. Bruce may be able
So
to talk
Democrats
to
sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
Look at the sourpusses. Boy. Wow.
All anti-Musk, anti-Doge stuff.
Yep.
Yep.
Every day my administration is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid. I terminated the ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization. And I also withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council. We ended all of Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction. To unshackle our economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first term. And in that first term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job. And we have ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good. Not too good.
Other than Reagan, I don't remember a president ever going off script as much as Trump does.
Yeah.
We love that.
And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
Not on Facebook, but it's back.
Yeah, not quite. Well, yeah, we're getting there.
And 2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America.
I think free speech is back, unless you're talking about big pharma.
I renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America.
Bruce, you're muted when you're trying to make comments, just so you know.
Yeah, if you're still talking about measles and stuff, yeah, you're getting banned.
Yeah, yep, nope.
And likewise,
no big pharma.
I renamed for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again. Beautiful Alaska. We love Alaska. We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military. And our country will be woke no longer.
Love that.
We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender.
Yep.
Very important. You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Well, Casey Sunshine has a good case for there being a third gender. And I think she's right, actually, the more I research it. But I like the two-gender discussion better.
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports. Three years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
Yeah, Maine is testing that theory right now.
Yeah, which I'm glad they are, actually. 'cause
Yeah, has
we
to
need
be tested.
yeah, all these things need to be tested.
And if you really want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer.
Good workout there, those guys. Up and down, up and down.
Yeah. The quads are going to be strong tomorrow.
Yeah.
What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world.
Notice
Common sense has become a
his
common
right,
theme, and
our
we will
left.
never go back. Never. Never going to let that happen.
Guys, when you get a chance, look at the podium. You'll notice it's broken. He broke
Among
it
my
right by
very
pulling up on it.
highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic
Yeah, the
and
trim piece
immediate
is gone.
relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare.
Actually, it's an
Their
illusion.
policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again.
He was looking at the Democrats. By the way, I'm wrong on the podium. There's an
It is. It's
injection on both
optical
sides.
delusion. Yeah.
Now, when he said no more men in women's sports, two
Joe
Democrats
Biden
stood up.
especially let the price of eggs get out of control.
Here we go.
The egg price is out of control,
Exactly.
and we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job. A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now.
Some Democratic lawmakers have walked out of the room. Others are holding up black placards that say false in response to some of President Trump's remarks.
And frankly, we have never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency.
The Dems walked out when he mentioned egg prices.
As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill.
The hill they want to die on is eggs. That's hilarious.
I know there's some people in the chat are kind of like because there's a different
My
delays on
administration
different
is
feeds.
also working on
So
a
this might be a
gigantic
little slower
natural
than some
gas
of the other
pipeline
feeds.
in Alaska.
I know.
Among the
We'll have to deal
largest
with
in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA. To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but will be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars. And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, GOGE. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps. Which is headed by
There's
Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight.
Elon, not awkward at all, Musk. That's those geniuses for you.
Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe. They just don't want to admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender. This is real. $32 million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her? A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City.
Wow.
He's a real estate developer. He's done very well. $250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia. $42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. You know what we're doing. We should use it ourselves.
I love he's doing
And
it.
$101 million for DEI
one-liners.
contracts at the Department
Yeah. I know
of Education.
it may bore some
The most
people,
ever
but this is
paid.
huge.
Nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
Susan Collins reluctantly stood up.
And we've taken back the money and reduced our debt to fight inflation and other things. Taking back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the beginning. The Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old. It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129.
Love it. Look who's looking at.
3.9
Yeah.
million people from ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149.
Staring right at
And
the
money
Dems.
is being paid to many of them, and we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck. Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid, and nobody does, and it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159, and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old.
Well,
We have a healthier country than I thought, Bobby.
when he said 140 years plus, I guess Master said that's Nancy Pelosi.
Including, to finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229, one person between the age of 240 and 249, and one person is listed at 360 years of age.
You
More
know,
than 100 years.
it's older than the
More
country.
than 100 years older than our country.
Oh, this is
But
beautiful.
we're going to find out where that money's going. And it's not going to be pretty. By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find, we will defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments and grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families. And today, interest rates took a beautiful drop, big, beautiful drop. It's about time. And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done in 24 years, balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it.
He is getting rid of the deficit. And our debt. Our debt is the number one most important thing. Talk about how strong the dollar will be if we can get rid of the debt. Oh, my Lord.
Yep.
With that goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we are calling the Gold Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated. And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, We will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money.
It's just common sense stuff.
Yeah, it is. Not to the Democrats, though.
Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk-takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again. And any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately. Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over.
Laying down the gauntlet.
And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there, they're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that. But I know this group is going to be voting for the tax.
This is a troll session.
It's really good.
Maybe you could explain later, Robert, why he
Thank you.
didn't
It's a
declare
very,
the
very
State
big
of the
part of
Union.
our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors.
They're all instructed not to move, huh?
Yep. Frozen in time.
And I also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America.
Ooh. Wow.
That's a new one.
Yeah, that is good.
And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never seen. That's a combination of the election win and tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? That, along with our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world. And this has taken place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country. In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country, first term. We had a great first term. If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. And we give so much help militarily and in so many other ways to South Korea. But that's what happens. This is happening by friend and foe. This system is not fair to the United States and never was. And so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not, just one day cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. If they do non-monetary tariffs to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that, too. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China, and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer. Much has been said over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada, but we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They are, in effect, receiving subsidies of hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to Canada and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer.
A lot bigger than people are going to give them credit for.
Yep.
Thanks to our America First policies we're putting into place, we have had $1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks. The combination of the election and our economic policies that people love. SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done if Kamala had won. Apple announced $500 billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that, I believe. They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA.
Big reason why China wants to go in there, by the way. The people don't talk about that very much.
Yep.
And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people. And they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing. You should get rid of the CHIP Act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt or any other reason you want to.
If I got rid of chips, I'd lose 10 pounds.
Chocolate chips, is that what we're talking about?
No, I was thinking tortilla
Oh,
chips.
potato chips. Potato chips, yeah.
For
A
you.
new
Yes.
trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer,
I love the farmer.
who will now be selling into our home market, the USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because there's goods that come in from other countries and companies, they're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers, starting on April 2nd, it may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had that before when I made the deal with China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it, and it hurt our farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too.
Notice
all
when
gonna
he-
happen.
Notice when he says China, he's talking about China, but when he says China, he's talking about China in Ukraine. That's a calm. By
And
the way,
I have
haven't seen
also
very many
imposed a
calms today.
25% tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel, because if we don't have, as an example, steel and lots of other things, we don't have a military, and frankly, we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama. Jeff Denard has been working at the same steel plant for 27 years in a job that has allowed him to serve as the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raise 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provide a loving home for more than 40 foster children. So great, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
He must have started working when he was 10. He was 27 years he's been working at that
Stories
place.
like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us, very low, the lowest we've ever been. Jeff, I want to thank you very much, and I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She works so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States. Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce. Our First Lady is joined by two impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher, and Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer. With Elliston's help, the Senate just passed the Take It Down Act, and this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up, John. Thank you, John. Thank you all very much. Thank you. And thank you to John Thune and the Senate. Great job. To criminalize the publication of such images online is a terrible, terrible thing. And once it passes the House, I look forward to signing that bill into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody. That's great. Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast. And I want to thank Tom Homan and Christy. I want to thank you and Paul of Border Patrol. I want to thank you. What a job they've all done, everybody. Border Patrol, ICE, well, law enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement. Have to. Last year, a brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren. Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act. It's called the Laken-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley. Thank you very much. Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you. The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
As he's staring right in their face. God, love that.
Love it.
Love it. That's hilarious.
Thank you. Joe Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens over them to overwhelm our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America. But there still is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are 2 illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
Wow.
Wow.
Bit of stagecraft here as Vice President Vance hands President Trump the order, which he is holding up in a black binder showing the Republicans who are standing and the Democrats who are seating. It is already signed, and he's waving it back and forth around the room to show the executive order that he just signed, renaming this wildlife refuge.
Thank you very much. All 3 savages charged with Jocelyn and Lakin's murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations.
That means we can go in any time and take them out.
Yep.
The UN won't like it, but do we care?
They are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them.
Exactly.
Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz. Great guy. In January, Roberto and another agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them, Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much. Thank you, Roberto. And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation, posing a grave threat to our national security. The cartels are waging war on America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing. Five nights ago, Mexican authorities, because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever. But we need Mexico and Canada to do much more than they've done, and they have to stop the fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland and complete the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than current record holder, President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate man, but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding without delay so I can sign it into law. So, Mr. Speaker, John Thune, both of you, I hope you're going to be able to do that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Mr. Leader, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get it to me. I'll sign it so fast, you won't even believe it.
I think there should be more of this pressuring them to do stuff, to be honest with you. Less executive orders.
Yep.
And as we reclaim our sovereignty, we must also bring back law and order to our cities and towns. In recent years, our justice system has been turned upside down by radical left lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased
pointed at him.
enforcing the law
Yep.
against dangerous repeat offenders
What's
while
that picture?
weaponizing law enforcement against political opponents like me.
Oh my
My
God.
administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bond, good luck. So important. Going to do a great job. Cash, thank you. Thank you, Cash.
I'm proud to be in that position.
They've already
Yeah, he
started
really
very
is.
strong. They're going to do a fantastic job. You're going to be very proud of them. We're also once again giving our police officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get it. They have such a hard, dangerous job, but we're going to make it less dangerous. The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes our great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice. One year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much.
It's got to be hard for these people. It's like mixed emotions. You feel great at the same time you're sullen because of what happened.
Yep.
You know, that's a really
You can
hard.
see it on their face.
Stephanie, we're
Yeah.
going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law. I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
Awesome. That's so cool.
Dad, don't do this to me.
You might be from Texas.
Here we go.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago. Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer actually a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
There's that racist Trump again. Such a racist.
He knows how to hold that badge.
Yep. I love APW 01. I'm not crying, you're crying. I agree, me too.
He's asking where his gun is. How come I don't get a gun?
This 13-year-old that
Thank
President
you,
Trump is
DJ.
talking about just received a badge and is holding it up for the Secret
DJ's
Service.
doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger. Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%. Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America healthy again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr.
Democrats cheer him? No, probably not, right?
Well, NPR probably wouldn't show it if they did.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering.
Yep.
How quickly they forget. Our goal is to get toxins out of
Wow.
our environment,
I love this.
poisons out of our food supply, and keep our children healthy and strong. As an example, not long ago, and you can't even believe these numbers, 1 in 10,000 children had autism, 1 in 10,000. And now it's 1 in 36. There's something wrong. 1 in 36. Think of that. So we're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby? Good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you. Go get him.
He's right up front. Good.
Thank you. My administration is also working to protect our children from toxic ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January, Littlejohn and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly socially transitioned their 13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns. They, them pronoun, actually, all without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology. I also signed an order to cut off all taxpayer funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth. And now I want Congress to pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie.
Good job.
That's awesome.
And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you. Because we're getting wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we? Don't we feel better?
Go woke, go broke.
Yep.
Our
Somebody
service
once said if
members
you go
won't
woke,
be
everything turns to
activists
shit,
and
right?
ideologues. They will be fighters and warriors. They will fight for our country. And Pete, congratulations. Secretary of Defense, congratulations. And he's not big into the woke movement, I can tell you. I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had its single best recruiting month in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of our services. What a difference. And you know, it was just a few months ago where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country, and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing, and thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. We're joined tonight by a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a six-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. And Jason, that's a very big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We got the military cheering, yay. First time we see movement out of them.
Thank you. Jason, you're going to be on the long gray line, Jason. As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA. And Ronald Reagan wanted to do it long ago, but the technology just wasn't there, not even close. But now we have the technology. It's incredible, actually. And other places, they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it. And the United States should have it too, right, Tim, right? They should have it too. So I want to thank you. But it's a very, very important. This is a very dangerous world. We should have it. We want to be protected, and we're going to protect our citizens like never before. To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding.
Well, with tariffs, we'll get rid of shipbuilding and now do shipbuilding.
And for that purpose, I am announcing tonight that we will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it.
You have to take it from BlackRock. BlackRock just bought things on either side of the Panama Canal today.
Just today, a large American company announced they are buying both ports around the Panama Canal and lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals. The Panama Canal was built by Americans for
like a root canal.
Americans, not for others, but others could use it. But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal. They died of malaria. They died of snake bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work. They paid them very highly to go there, knowing there was a 25% chance that they would die. The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring it up to modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1, but that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back. And we have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco. Now, we know who to blame if anything goes wrong. Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job. Think of it. He got 100 votes. You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes. And I'm either very, very happy about that, or I'm very concerned about it.
Exactly. Very concerned about that.
He's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman. He's respected by everybody, and we appreciate you voting for Marco. He's going to do a fantastic job. Thank you. Thank you. He's doing a great job.
Come on, bring it out. Little Marco, you got to say it.
You read my mind.
Little Marco's
We
growing all
also
up.
have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security. And I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it.
Greenland, 51st state. Canada,
We will keep you
52nd.
safe.
Mexico, 53rd.
We will make you rich, and
Cuba,
together
54.
we will take Greenland to heights like you have never thought possible before. It's a very small population, but very, very large piece of land, and very, very important for military security. America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice. And I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day. Such incompetence was shown that when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people. I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call. Every one of them called, and everybody was on the line, and they did nothing but cry with happiness. They were very happy, as happy as you can be under those circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle East, we're bringing back our hostages from Gaza. In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the Abraham Accords. And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood, actually. I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
Whoa,
Wow, huh?
brutal. Brutal.
2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that. They're Russian young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans, but I want it to stop. Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine, by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350 billion, like taking candy from a baby. That's what happened. And they've spent $100 billion. What a difference that is. And we have an ocean separating us, and they don't. But we're getting along very well with them, and lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has spent by billions and billions of dollars. It's hard to believe that they wouldn't have stopped it and said at some point, come on, let's equalize. You got to be equal to us. But that didn't happen. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Yeah. It's time.
It's awesome. I wonder what Pocahontas thinks of that.
Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Pressure's on.
It's time to stop this madness.
There
It's
she
time
is.
to halt the killing. It's time to end the senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years ago, amid rising tensions, a history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely lifted a finger to help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin. But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, that we would bring her boy safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
Wow.
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it? Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years. I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally. That was not pleasant. And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that stage. And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch, but some were not so lucky. Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. 2 others, very fine people, were also seriously hit. But thankfully, with the help of 2 great country doctors, we thought they were gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their two beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you. To Helen, Allison, and Kaylee, Corey is looking down on his three beautiful ladies right now, and he is cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on. Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's that built our country, and it's love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. From the patriots of Lexington and Concord to the heroes of Gettysburg and Normandy, from the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon, Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people. Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors crossed a vast ocean, strode into the unknown wilderness, and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny across a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel. We stand on the shoulders of these pioneers who won and built the modern age. These workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities. These warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we're going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond. And through it all, we are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit. And we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day, we will stand up and we will fight, fight, fight for the country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve. My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future, because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
You're listening to live special coverage from NPR
Wow.
News.
Where's Lewis? Can we mute this guy? Thank you very much.
Mute this guy.
Well,
Get him off the screen. We don't need him.
What, just shy of 2 hours, right? They came on a little after 9. It's almost 11. Yeah.
one of the longest speeches I've ever seen.
He
From-
did
Well,
repeat
they did
some
have a
things
disruption.
over and over. Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Al Green, in case you're joining us late, early on, they had one of the members of the House of Representatives, Mr. Al Green from Texas, got booted. No, that was not.
I
Now
don't
we
know.
get
That's
to hear
quite the list of accomplishments in 30 days, huh?
Yeah. Are we going to hang on and critique the Democrat response?
And I'm not interested in the demon crat.
Not at all, no.
Wow. So Chuckman says he came in at 17 past the hour. Let's get rid of these knuckleheads at NPR.
Yeah.
Well, Ethan Lucas is really pissed. I'm not quite sure why. I have to look at his, and I'll probably put it up on the screen. But before we go to Ethan hijacking our show, how about you guys? And by the way, Ethan, love you, but I don't have the way this is set up. I can't bring you on this segment. There's nothing. It's just the way this is pre-set up. So, Bruce, what's your take on this? And then Robert. Well, I'm gonna have probably the shortest take, and clearly Ethan disagrees with me. I thought it was a fantastic speech. But it was a basic speech. But I think the way he pointed out to what he needed to talk about, in regards to showing the dichotomy between the Democrats, I'm going to say the Democrats and President Trump, not the Republicans, because the Republicans are full of shit, right? But between the Democrats and the MAGA, I thought it was fantastic for that. I think it needed to stay basic, and he kept it basic because he's trying to appeal to a broader audience. I know people wanted to go into the Epstein list, and so I just don't see that ever happening in a forum like this. This is a more formal forum. And I will get into what Ethan's upset about. I stepped off screen and I was eating. Maybe my ears didn't hear it. So I'll have to find out what that was in a minute. But Bruce, what's your take on things?
Yeah, general, pretty much nothing that was unexpected. You know, a couple things that I took a couple of notes on. You know, he had going through all of those different things that Doge found. You know, most of America who aren't paying attention really don't understand how we've been being screwed and our money's been being stolen for a very long time. So that's, I think, part of the big, huge stuff that Doge is doing is bringing a light to that, as much as the Democrats kicking, screaming all the way down the line that we're going to end up, killing grandma or something like that. He
Well,
mentioned the three,
before you move
the
on from
three.
that, it was brilliant that he went line by line on where the ridiculous expenditures was. I know that was boring for some people, but I think that was absolutely brilliant to do that because he knows that there's a bunch of liberals watching this speech also.
Yeah, and he said he even said that he could. There's even crazier stuff that he couldn't even get into. Right, there was just not, So they're still working on that. The car companies, the EV thing, and the car company says, he's still old school and he's get caught up. The three majors, right? He mentions the car companies, but I mean, Toyota, Honda, they've been building cars in here in the United States for a long time. And they may be getting different parts and whatever. So I mean, Chevy, Ford, and Chrysler. There's way more car companies than that are. I would consider. Could you consider Honda and Toyota American cars, or is that too new school? I don't know.
Well, a lot of it's built in Mexico, actually.
Right. I mean, they get the parts from everywhere, and they can say assembled in the United States,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
So there's a huge difference, and words mean things. Just like
Yep.
when people talk about buying organic, most shit is not organic. And then he talks about the farmers, helping out the farmers, but yet he didn't go into, and I'm sure this wasn't the place to do that. And this is something that almost nobody talks about: how the USDA and the Department of Agriculture kind of forced the farmers into the market, and they force them to use the GMO seeds and what they plant.
Right.
They
Got
pay
those
them money to
subsidized, yeah.
destroy their crops. So the USDA and the Department of Agriculture needs to clean up, and so they can start growing real food instead of this bullshit food that they're making us eat right now. So just those are kind of conspiratorial things. I didn't expect that, but overall, this speech I would give it a B. So I mean, but like I said, my expectations were low coming in.
Okay, cool. And I'm just going to real quick say what I can put it on the screen what Ethan's talking about, and I must have missed it, so we'll have to go into it. But he says, "I don't think that you're all catching the seriousness of this automatic death penalty LEO bullshit. I'm fucking livid. This is not good." So we'll go back to that. I wish I could bring Ethan on now. Just the way the format's set up, we can't. But I'm not going to burn down this whole speech based on that comment. I'd have to look into that a little bit more. You probably
He just mentioned when that gal's husband, was killed by whatever ended up happening.
right.
He wanted to put make it a federal deal, an automatic death penalty for somebody who murders a police officer. And I think Ethan's maybe going a little too far. He's thinking, well, if Leos can, if you're defending your own self and law enforcement officers are out of line and you end up taking one of them out by some reason or other, you're going to get the death penalty. He said he's basically thinking or seeing or relaying that to law enforcement can have carte blanche and they can do whatever the fuck they want. And if you kill them, you're going to die too.
I didn't get that from that, but if Ethan's, but we have to read it. Ethan, give me a thumbs up if you actually read it, because I don't think it's posted yet. Maybe I'm hoping it's taken out of context. Um, I see the fervor behind what you're saying. If it's true that it's a blanket, but I don't believe that's what it is. If it is, that's worse than martial law. I would agree with you, but I think we should read it to make sure what the real context is of that. So
You
Robert,
would think there would have to be due process in whatever situation.
yeah, I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. And plus, by the way, Ethan, you know this better than the three of us. Executive orders have no weight according in regards to law. So he can't sign an executive order and say everybody gets the death penalty because it has to go through due process. So I think that would be tossed out immediately. But maybe we're reading it wrong, but I understand your concern 100% if that's what he's indicating. Robert, what's your thought on this, on the speech?
If you're in our community, it was frustrating, right? Because we wanted to go further. But that's not who this speech was targeted to. And I think we need to pay very close attention to this, because this is a normie audience, as well as a MAGA audience, and as well as a left-leaning audience. an independent audience, right? So you kind of have to walk that line. It's kind of hard because we're like, oh, we just want them to, we want all these people arrested. We want the Epstein file. We want all this stuff because this is where we've been living. But that's not where this was targeted to, which it's a little bit frustrating for us because it's like we wanted more, but we didn't get more. But the truth is, I'm walking away from this, and you look at that list of accomplishments. Think about that if that was your report card in school. You're in school for 45 days, and that's your report card. Holy moly! Wow, way over the top. Now, as I said on the show yesterday, not everything is going to be perfect. Right? And this is the truth. There's some things we're going to look at and go, you could do a little better. You could go a little more. Maybe this thing with the automatic death penalty, maybe there's more to it than we know. I'm not happy about that. I get it. Nothing is perfect, but it's better than the alternative. Imagine President Harris giving this speech tonight. Where do you think we'd be? Right?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, it would be a word salad. We probably wouldn't understand much, but know. So I think overall, we're doing very well. I think I would give this speech like an A or an A plus for what it was and who it was targeted to. I think he did a really great job at it. And I
Yeah.
love the poking fun at the Democrats and pointing at them directly and calling them out and saying, look, they're not going to cheer for anything. I could make everyone in this room a millionaire and they still wouldn't cheer.
No. Yeah. I would give it an A minus for the normies. For us, it's a C. It is what is expected, for sure. But let's imagine this real quick. Let's imagine this was the State of the Union to the president that would have followed 8 years of Hillary Clinton. Where would we be today if that ever happened?
We wouldn't be here. Yeah, no question.
That's I think we should take things into perspective and really consider if Hillary would have took this thing, she would have done 8 years. God knows what we would be looking at right
It
now.
would have been Biden on steroids, right? It would have been 10 times worse than what we got out of him.
Yeah, and this speech could have been more that, hey, our brown shirts put 50% of Americans in camps, and their executions are ongoing, and we're eliminating them from the face of the earth. That's what that speech could have been like. So I appreciate where we are in time right now, but at the same time, I know because I'm getting a lot of hate from my audience lately because God forbid I mention anything that I don't like about the administration, right? I would recommend that people understand that on January 20th, 2017, President Trump said, we're giving it back to the people. He meant that. We're giving it back to the people. So this is the people's nation. So if that's true, and I believe his statement was true, I would believe President Trump expects us to pull our heads out from under his ass and stand up when we see something we don't like. I think that's the expectation. That's if anybody wants to read about this, George Washington or the founding fathers and all of them, they weren't slapping each other on the back when they were forming this nation. They were going at it, but they respected each other for what it was. So don't you for a moment think Trump just wants you to praise him. I believe y'all stop fawning over him, stop idolizing him, and say, President Trump, this is fantastic. We love what you're doing with Doge, but you know what? Why promise the Epstein list and not deliver it? Right? Right. That's probably not a good look. If he's a guy that just wants you to fawn all over him, he's not the president you think he is. And I think we need to check ourselves and remember, I love this man and I appreciate what he's doing right now, but he works for us. And we are going to fall right back down this deep, dark abyss in the future after President Trump's gone if you cannot speak truth to power.
Yeah, and if we get complacent again, that's what got us here in the first place, is we just let the powers that be, you know what, don't have to worry about it. It's taken care of. Everything's going well. It's not, because there's a lot of fighting behind the scenes, actually, even on our side within the party. there's a lot of infighting, and there always is. And so we've got to be very careful. We've got to be on top of it. We all have to take a part in this. We can't, just let it slide. So, I tell people on social media all the time, you've got to use that. This is a tool that we can use to really keep the message going and keep it flowing. I'm seeing a lot of my family in Canada, how much they hate Trump. And I warned my brother, I said, don't get mad at them. Remember, their media is highly censored. They're only getting one side of the story. So if you get that end of it, what are you going to believe? You're going to believe what you're hearing. You don't have the two sides to weigh one against the other. We're lucky enough to have that here. And we've got to continue to fight for it. And I'm really glad that a lot of that censorship is being pulled back. The government is not allowed to censor us. We got the First Amendment, and they can't use a proxy. In other words, they can't go through social media companies to censor us. So it's good that that's removed. However, the social media companies are going to take a little while to wake up to the fact that, this isn't good for business.
Yeah.
And maybe we get to the point where we can speak freely again. I really want that to happen. Love to go on YouTube again. It'd be fun.
It would. Yeah, I got knocked off of YouTube last week, by the way, and Facebook censorship and a TikTok threat. I mean, it happens. It's still ongoing, y'all. I don't know what people are seeing. I think they believe because the people come out and say, "Hey, we're not going to do any censorship anymore." They think that means it's done. No, it's not. Even on X, sorry, there's some things that you can't. They don't like the Khazarian mafia conversation. I'll just tell you that.
I was just going to say, don't criticize Big Pharma or the Jews. Then those are the two things you can't do.
Yep.
Well, I got oral surgery in a few hours, gentlemen.
Well, good. Then I don't think you should go to sleep. Just stay up here.
Get a new grill.
Yep. Congratulations on that. Hey, Robert, do you have anything you want to finish up with?
Just let people know that they should go to screwbiggov.com and sign up for your newsletter. They should also go to renegademedia.tv and sign up for our newsletter. And Bruce, I keep forgetting what your website is.
I don't have a website.
That's why.
Oh, that's why I forget. Okay, great.
That's what, yeah. Nobody knows me. I'm just some schlub.
Unpopular Viewpoint on Rumble. Follow Bruce
That's
there.
it.
Make sure whatever channel you're watching on, make sure you're following the channel. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate you guys being here. We live in historic times. Love it or hate it, we're in historic times, and with all change comes chaos, and we're certainly in the chaos phase. I really believe it'll start to balance out later in the year, and by next year we'll probably be in a really great space. We'll look back at this and say, wow, we did a lot, we worked hard, but things are going great right now.
Amen.
Yeah, we're certainly working. We're certainly working on it. All I'll say is we have to, no matter what happens, we must remember that this is about and only is about we the people. And when we, how do I say this? When we lose that fact, we will lose ourselves within any administration, whether they're on our side or not on our side.
Right.
This is how important it is to remember that we the people are the ones that hold the power, but we have to actually access it. If you don't access your power, you have no power. So saying that, I want to do a quick reminder for everybody. Oh, let's do this real quick. Remember the poll everybody took? This was about what they thought about President Trump's administration before the speech. You have, man, that's a small screen. Hold on. Here we go. Can I make it bigger? There we go. We've got, looks like 28 say an A. Is
B.
that? Oh, a B.
No,
28,
28
yeah.
or B.
28B, 11 points for an A, 18 points for a C. Okay, well that's not bad, is it? That's a
Yep.
that's a B average, So that's good. All right, guys. As I've been promising, real quick, just want to say real quick, just a reminder. Verity Metals does a great job helping us, sponsoring the show, so on and so forth. So please give them a call, for your trusted source for silver and gold at veritymetals.com. Text 480-717-9081. And as I've been promising, I will end our shows with a manifested prayer. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Lord Almighty, we are so grateful for having this platform with its ever-growing reach and support of the most active, patriotic, and loving We the People crowd on the planet. Please guide us and watch over the Trump administration to make sure we continue to make godly decisions in support of We the People. We are grateful that human trafficking and evil, fraudulent behavior is reducing exponentially daily. Thank you for empowering and protecting all whistleblowers, eradicating evil, and releasing important information in this awakening. So shall it be. Real quick, coming up, I am not doing a show Thursday. I will be traveling, but I'm bringing Alan Fountain on my program Wednesday for We the People Wednesday. So if you have any questions for us, make sure you get them on X or Telegram or whatever platform you can. Whatever questions, we'll do our best to answer them. And I'm not quite sure what's going to happen this weekend. I'm very, very busy. I know Robert's doing a great show Monday. I'll try to make it to Robert's show. I'll also be on Awake Nation Monday. And then come Tuesday, Bruce Poppy and I have the great Denise Stevens coming on with some massive disclosures. So we got a lot coming up, folks. I'm working on Remember Your Oath, Freedom in Action. Look on Telegram and X. No promises tomorrow, but between tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and Thursday, a massive disclosure that will connect P. Diddy and Bill Clinton. And it will blow you away. By the way, I have firsthand knowledge of this. This is real powerful stuff. God bless everybody. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. Am I the only one willing to bleed? Take a bullet for being free. Screaming what the hell at my TV for telling me, yeah, you're telling me that I'm the only one willing to fight for my love of the red and white and the blue. Burning on the ground, another statue coming down in a town near you. Watching the threads of old glory come undone. Am I the only one?
One day, one day, one day. Oh, one day, I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now
'cause there ain't no doubt